Apparently, some members of the California National Guard and the Marines that were sent in to California to crush the protests are not exactly thrilled with their assignment. Hmm. According to The Guardian, citing three different advocacy organizations representing military families, dozens of affected service members. Remember, there's about 4,000 National Guard and about 700 Marines. So, a relatively small sample size, sure. But at least some of them are open about, well, not too open, but they're open about, because there's laws against them being publicly against their orders. But nonetheless, privately, with their family members and with these groups, are like, ooh, I really am uncomfortable with everything that we've been ordered to do. So there you go. Now, apparently, dozens of affected service members have expressed some discomfort about being drawn into Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. In fact, here is Sarah Streyder of the Secure Families Initiative, which represents the interests of military spouses, children, and veterans. Quote, the sentiment across the board right now is that deploying military force against our own communities isn't the kind of national security we signed up for. Families are scared, not just for their loved one's safety, although that's a big concern, of course, but also for what their service is being used to justify. Yes, you mean the white supremacy and dictatorial ambitions of a man baby and his evil handlers? Because that is exactly what you're being asked to justify by your presence. There's more. Chris Purdy of the Chamberlain Network, stated mission is to mobilize and empower veterans to protect democracy, said he had heard similar things from a half a dozen National Guard members. He said, quote, morale is not great. That is the quote I keep hearing. Hey, that's a little encouraging, isn't it? There seems to be some people in the military that are not exactly on board with this. And again, if there's ever a time that comes where these people are ordered to fire on American citizens, and I hope that never happens, I would hope that enough of them would be there to say, absolutely not. Go F yourself. It's not a big hope, but it's there nonetheless. I am a hopeful person to say that. But look, again, these protests have been largely peaceful in LA. It has not been riots. Okay, they're not burning down California. All right, this has been peaceful and restricted to just a few blocks around downtown federal buildings. That's it. This is not an insurrection. This is not a riot. This is again, people aren't destroying the entire city unless you think the city consists of a few Waymo robo taxis. I mean, there are sports celebrations that get way rowdier than this. In France, I swear, they set stuff on fire like this at least once a year. Okay. So there's obviously no justification for the massive police presence, as well as the presence of the Marines. I mean, and by the way, the military by law is prevented from actually doing policing. Okay. They can't do police duties. So that again, their deployment is a waste of money, but more importantly, it is a message though from Trump meant to intimidate the protesters, to intimidate people who are there and people who might consider protesting. And it's not working. The people are not intimidated. In fact, the people are getting more and more pissed off. A pair of YouGov polls published on Tuesday show that the public disapproval of both the National Guard and the Marine deployments is fairly high. Not only that, but there's also disapproval of Trump's immigration deportation policies. According to Axios, 47% of U.S. adults now disapprove of deploying the Marines to L.A., with only 34% approval, mostly by Republicans. Shocker. 45% disapprove of the National Guard deployment. 38% said they approve. Broke down by party, 68% of Republicans and 12% of Democrats support the Marine response, while 75% of Republicans and 13% of Democrats approved of deploying the National Guard. So, I mean, you got a majority of Republicans that are like, oh, yeah, tread on me, baby. Well, okay, tread on somebody else. That's because they're authoritarians. And again, if it were Joe Biden that were doing this, it would be completely reversed. I mean, at least for Republicans. I mean, these are the people that would be screaming about how, oh, we need to water the tree of liberty with the blood of tyrants or something. I suppose it's a little different when your guy is the tyrant. Same. That said, while active service members are prohibited by law from speaking publicly about their work, as I mentioned, Streyder says that she had heard dozens of complaints indirectly through their families. She'd also seen a written comment passed along to her organization from a National Guard member who described the assignment as quote-unquote shitty, especially compared to some of their other assignments. For example, helping with wildfire relief, or helping during the COVID pandemic, doing vaccination outreach, things like that. Things that actually help the community and are for the greater good. This, not so much. This is for the good of Donald Trump, all right? In fact, the message said this: both of those experiences were uncomplicatedly positive, a contribution back to the community. This is quite the opposite, end quote. Yes, it is. And it is funny because, look, it only took Donald Trump, okay, dictator. He said, I'm going to be dictator for a day. It's been more than a day. But it only took about 6 months for him to send the military out against our own people. Okay? That's it. 6 months. 6 months. And it's not like we didn't see this one coming. No, we've been warning you the whole time. In fact, everyone did. We all did. Trump voters included, by the way. Trump voters included. In fact, a lot of them were like, no, we're counting on it. We want you to do this. We can't wait to have state-sanctioned violence against people we don't like. These are the people that have fantasies of killing liberals in the left. Understand who these people are. They're too far gone. Too far gone. Though, to be fair, again, at least some in the military are not gone. Not in that direction. All right? And again, these are people who also voted for and supported Donald Trump. According to Janessa Goldbeck, a Marine Corps veteran who runs the Vet Voice Foundation, the Marines that were sent in are getting kind of mad that they're being used in this political way. Quote, among all that I spoke with, the feeling was that the Marines are being used as political pawns, and it strains the perception that Marines are apolitical. Yeah, they are being used as political pawns. 100%. That's what the right wing loves to do, and especially Donald Trump. Some were also concerned Marines were being set up for failure. The overall perception was that the situation was nowhere near at the level where the Marines were necessary. Now, the advocates also say that it was important to draw a distinction between the personal political preferences of service members, many, if not most, of whom voted for Trump last November, and the higher principle that military personnel should not get involved in politics or be politically motivated missions that blur the lines of responsibility with civilian agencies. Quote, we tend to be uniquely apolitical as an institution and with each other. Streyder said, the military is a tool that should be used as a last resort, not a first response. It does not feel that the tool is being calibrated accurately to the situation. Well, that's because Donald Trump believes that the military should be serving him and him only. He is an authoritarian. That is who he is, and that is what we have warned you about the whole freaking time. He is an authoritarian. He is going to use the military to his own advantage. He is going to break laws because he is a criminal doing criminal things. And that's exactly what he's been doing for the last 6 months. So yes, it is no surprise that he believes this, that he is doing this. Again, thinking that the military should only serve him, not the country, not the people, but him. He said, I'm going to be dictator for a day, except he was lying. He was lying about one part, and that's for a day. He never planned on giving up that power, and he probably never will. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you become a member on our YouTube page, you become
become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.